Hey, everybody, welcome back to the closing table. Time to kick off another episode. As always, I'm here with my boy, Ben Hawkins with Cornerstone Home Lending. Lend with Ben, one of our presenting sponsors. And I'm Doug Yop from the Ocean Air Realty, our other presenting sponsor. We're excited to have you back with us. Pull up a chair, buddy. It's the closing table. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling.
Let's go.
All right, let's start something new. Unfortunately, the Hornets season ended in extremely disappointing fashion. They got their doors blown off by the Orlando Magic in the second play-in game. However, it doesn't really feel like this is an ending. It feels like this is setting us up for a new beginning. What do you think, Ben?
Well, I agree. I mean, I do want to brag for a moment. I did call it last week, Doug. If you roll back the tape, I told you how tough Orlando was at home. And sure enough, they are and were. So yeah, pat myself on the back a little bit this morning. Hate that the Hornets lost. It was a great season. I mean, a lot about a season is the way you finish, and those guys finished strong. The last 3 months were probably the best 3 months that Charlotte basketball has had in years. So I love the foundation. I love what they're doing, and I think they add a couple more pieces. They need to get better on defense. That's really where they're lacking, in my opinion, is defensively. They just get split, down the middle. It's kickouts, easy threes. LaMelo Ball, as good of a offensive player as he is, his defense, I watched him get smoked. It was pretty tough, but Con Knipple didn't have the best playoff run either, a play-in run, I should say. So I love what they're doing. I think the Hornets are set up for success moving forward, and I hope they add those integral pieces to the puzzle to help them get over the hump and be competitive with the Pistons, Celtics, and teams like that are top of the East.
Yeah, I think that, just very bluntly, they're soft. And bigger, more physical teams are going to bully them, and that's exactly what the Magic did. They just came in and beat their ass. So you got one of two options, really. Either hit the weight room this summer and get stronger, or you got to bring in some muscle. Some more folks that can defend the paint. They got this obliterated in the paint. I mean, it was layup after layup, basically. Magic had no problem getting to the rack. They need another big defender. A lot of people are talking about Bam Adebayo from Miami maybe going. The thing is, who are you piecing with a bunch of first round picks to get him? So now we enter we're going to enter the trade market soon, as we trend towards and through the playoffs now. So it'll be interesting kind of to see how that plays out. People say LaMelo's never going to lead them deep in the playoffs. Is he the piece you get rid of? Other folks say Brandon Miller isn't the guy either. A lot of folks like Calm because of the big difference he made this year and don't want to get rid of him. What about Miles Bridges? Is he the guy you get rid of? And then they're sitting on like 6 first-round picks. How many of those do you trade away to get a big guy? There's talk of Giannis, but he's like 32 or 33. He might even be older than that, 29, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. The thing is, the Hornets are never in the talk in the free agent market or for making any big trades, just because they're not really seen as a destination because they're a small market club and the way they've always been run. They've had to build through the draft. So it'll be interesting to see if they can actually pick up a piece in the free agent market or by making a trade this year. It'll be fun to follow regardless.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving on to Europe. So we had a great day last Friday for rates and oil, but that was very short-lived. Ben, I know you're watching these really closely. How are we looking today on Wednesday?
Well, let's look and see what oil prices are doing. They are up almost 2% today. It's back over $91 a barrel. The Strait of Hormuz stuff is just it's just maddening. I'm getting about sick of it. So all the love that we got last week is pretty much dissolved at this point. The 10-year T-bill this morning is sitting at, let's see where we're at. Let me look here real fast, Doug. Live action is what this is, buddy. Live action.
I love it.
It's down just a hair, 6 ticks, nothing major. It did go up yesterday. It's the 10 years hovering right at 4.286. I'm ready for all this to get over with. I wish we would just get in there, do what we need to do, and get it over with, because it's in the meantime, it's caused everything else to go up. Interest rates, gas. Yeah. Although here in Wilmington, it did fall down to around $3.63 a gallon. Last week, it was sitting at $3.94, $3.97. So that's a welcome sight. But we need to keep that momentum going.
Well, I'll say this. Thankfully, rates didn't go crazy when oil popped back up. And hopefully they'll stay kind of flat, if not go down a little bit. So that's the only silver lining really that I see. Man, if I drove to South Carolina for soccer this weekend, and the gas just absolutely obliterated me. And if I can't stop at Costco to get gas, I'm paying 50 cents more a gallon. It is just absolutely nuts, paying almost $5 a gallon. It's wild. So hopefully more good news, or some more news like we had Friday, comes out before the end of this week, so we get a little bit of relief there. And hopefully rates will hang on too. All right. On the hunt, the Braves have one of baseball's best records. So what do you think that says about the rest of the season? And I don't know if you guys can see, I got my Braves 80s powder blue jersey on today. So I'm repping the Braves.
Yeah.
Currently they're tied for the second best record in the National League and the Bigs right now.
I thought you would have a Notre Dame shirt on, to be honest with you. That's kind of what I was thinking.
I got some Notre Dame for you.
Yeah, I know you do. Your favorite squad of all time. I mean, there's what, 150 games
62.
left?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I hear you, but they're 16-8. Nice record. We'll see how they do. The biggest part about the baseball season, it's so long, so many things can happen. Injuries, all that stuff. So if they stay healthy, it looks like they got a good shot. But I mean, you got 162 games left. So let's not put the cart before the horse, Doug.
No, of course not. Because one injury can blow up the whole season. We've seen that happen for the Braves before. It's definitely a marathon and not a sprint. But what is good is that the Mets and the Phillies absolutely stink. They are garbage, hot garbage.
The Mets are bad. Yeah, the Mets are big bad. It's unreal.
I think they've lost 12 in a row. What a shame. What a shame.
Yeah, it's funny. They're actually, and this isn't political, but I guess it kind of is, but I don't really care. Mondami went and visited the Mets, and since he visited, they haven't won a game. And I just thought
they haven't won a game.
Funny. No, I mean, not only is New York's not winning as a city, and then he goes and visits the Mets. The Yankees better tell him, please do not stop by. We don't want to see you this year.
Stay on your side of town, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. All right, well, we'll keep the train moving. Let's make a prediction. We'll keep it on sports a little bit, though. What do you think happens first? The Hornets actually make it to the playoffs, not the play-in, the playoffs, and win a playoff series, or the Braves another National League Championship Series to have the chance to go to the World Series? What do you think happens?
Well, the only reason I think the Braves could do it first is because they're actively in their season, right? And they're doing well thus far. So, for me, I think if the Hornets were still going, you'd have to say it's a 50-50 toss-up. The Braves, have a real opportunity this year, it appears. But the Hornets getting to the playoffs is the next step, right? Winning the series, another step. So it all depends on seeding, where they end up. I mean, if you get if Detroit stays intact like they are right now, or Boston, if you get them in the first round, I mean, what do you expect to happen? I mean, those guys are legit. So for me, I think the Braves have a better opportunity to get there first, simply because they're still in season. And they have an easier road. Like you said, the Mets are awful. There's not a lot of, it's not bottlenecked at the top for them. So I'm going to say the Braves.
I'd certainly like to say the Braves, and I certainly hope the Hornets don't have to take 2 seasons to win a playoff series, meaning make it next year but not win, and then maybe win next year. I think that as long as they're not hurt and they play ball like they did last year, they can be a top 4 or 5 seed in the East, giving them a much better draw for that first round to hopefully win a playoff series. So I'd really like to say the Braves, but unless something dramatic happens with the Dodgers, I mean, they're still the Dodgers and they're freaking
Right.
loaded. It's like an all-star team. So, like Ric Flair said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, and for a while, the Dodgers are the man. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right, let's talk due diligence. And this is really getting into your wheelhouse, Lynn, or Ben. And I wanted to talk to you about it because we had a conversation regarding a client this week. We haven't talked about this on the show before. So tell us about loan recasts, how they work, and who they're maybe an option for.
So loan recasts are for folks that have a conventional mortgage. Conventional is the only loan type that's going to allow for a recast. VA, USDA, FHA, no go. Jumbo financing, no go. Conventional financing, yes. And the way that works, a lot of people have this scenario. So say you qualify for a mortgage on a new purchase, but you don't have to sell your existing home. So therefore, you're going to take your time in getting the house ready, making sure that all those things are nice and tidy that your realtor tells you to do to get it ready for showing. And so you don't have to sell your house to purchase the next one. But you're anticipating, say you've got 150, 200,000, 100,000 in equity in the existing home. Well, what happens? You close on the new home, right? You get your home nice and tidy, ready for sale. You sell it. And after your new loan is consummated and you sell the other house, you can then take that lump sum of money on a conventional loan and you can put it towards the principal balance through the form of a recast of payment. The way it works is, say you do a 30-year fix initially, say you're a year into it or 6 months or whatever the case may be, however long you're into having made payments on the new loan, your amount of time doesn't reset. So if you're 29 and a half years, you stay at 29 and a half years, okay? The interest rate stays exactly the same, but they reamortize the payment based on the principal reduction. Typically, the servicer will charge about $250 to $300 for the recast, but it is a great way for folks to, after selling their former home, and I've already moved into the new one, it's a great way for them afterwards to take advantage of the money that they would have liked to have put down in the first place. So again, it doesn't reset the time, doesn't change the interest rate, but it does lower the payment based on the principal reduction. So definitely a great option for folks out there, but just know that it's only available for conventional financing.
So a really great tool then for somebody who is planning to sell, but want it first so they don't feel like they have to hustle and are forced to pick the house they want, or are forced into making a decision about the house they want to buy based on the timeline of selling. They can really make it two separate issues. They're qualified. Maybe they can float both payments for a couple of months. They buy the house that they want to, then we get their house on the market, sell it, and then you're able to do the recast. I can't believe it's that cheap, honestly. That just sounds like a deal. Only $250.
It really is. It's less expensive, of course, than a refinance. Obviously, when rates drop and you want to take advantage of that, if you have that lump sum to put down at that time, that's also very helpful. That's another strategy you can use as well. But I mean, for $250, $300 to recast that payment, save all that money and interest over the years, it's definitely a win-win situation. But again, only on conventional financing can that be obtained. So just something to keep in mind, and something we definitely offer folks to be able to take advantage of.
Just another tool for you folks, right? We're always looking to give you the best option that makes the most sense for you. And that's how we work together. Ben gives you the option to do that. And now I explain how the time frame can play out differently because you have this option. Now you're not scrambling to get your house sold. Now you're not moving your stuff into a mini storage or whatever. You've got time. And you've got an easier way to make a decision so you don't feel like you're rushed. Tell me again, I think I missed it. How long after you do the initial closing do you have to do the recast?
Anytime you want to. Anytime you
really?
Want to. Okay. Keep in mind, like a lot of times when folks close, Doug, and you know this, like say, and I'm using an example that's relative to our time frame. Right now, it's kind of the latter part of April. say you close May the 4th or May the 5th, right? Just giving a date out there. I don't even know if it's on a weekend, but around that time frame. Say you close May the 5th, your first payment wouldn't be due until July the 1st. So anytime after that part of it goes, then you can recast the payment. Like you've got to start making your payments first, and then you can do it. But definitely a great option. So when you made mention before about folks, and I did too, about potentially having both houses at the same time, you will get some relief on having to make the new mortgage payment for at least 45, 50 days, to where you're not doubled up per se on the two mortgage payment scenario. So, something else to keep in mind, you will get some payment relief, at least for the first 45 to 50 days. Make a payment, then we can get you recast if you need to, and move forward.
That's the same advice I give to folks who are in a lease who are looking to move, so they have some buffer time to get moved, because nothing sucks more, at least house related, than having to haul all your crap from your apartment to your new on one weekend. And we're way too old to have friends that are willing to help do something like that now. That's a young man's game, but still nobody wants to or should have to do that, because it's just absolutely no fun. I know we've all been there.
All right.
Well, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Fix This. You know how much I love this. I don't even have to tell you. Why does every restaurant make it impossible to hear the person sitting across the booth or the table from you? Why is music so loud? Why?
Well, I don't know why it's so loud, but there's it's a proven, I don't know what you call some type of science here behind this, but people stay longer. People stay longer when you have music on in the background. So in a restaurant or a bar, especially a bar, you want people to sit there and consume your beverages and all that stuff. Music makes people stay places longer. If there is no music, they get up quicker and they leave. So for me at a restaurant, I don't understand why the music is as loud as it would be, as some of these places are, because people are going to hang around longer. And the idea in a restaurant is to turn tables. The more people you seat and feed, the more dinners and plates that you sell. So it's, for me, I don't know. I don't like going to these loud places. I mean, unless I'm going to an event that I know is already loud and I'm ready for it. But I certainly don't want to go on a date or have a business meeting in a place where I can't even hear the other person talk. I think it's intrusive. It can be rude. And I want to be able to focus on my conversation. It's kind of like what we talked about last week with our cell phones, putting them down at our lunch meeting or a business meeting, having that stuff put away, putting away distractions. So, you try to choose a place that is going to be accommodating for those types of meetings and set up. And you just got to kind of, you got to perhaps read some reviews online or go experience a place yourself to know, hey, I may not want to go meet with Doug at this place because it's extremely loud and we're not going to be able to really focus and hone in on what we're talking about from a business perspective. What do you think about it, Doug?
Well, I mean, I agree. I hate it when it's loud. And you make a great point. It's like, why would you, if it makes them stay longer and you're trying to turn tables? I mean, restaurants shouldn't be loud then, right? Now, what I will say is, I get why sports bars are loud sometimes, but I'm there to watch the game. Turn the music off. I mean, right. I want to hear what's on the big screen, right?
Yeah. I'd like to hear the announcers. I don't want to hear, Taylor Swift singing to me in the background while I'm watching football. You know what I mean? So
right.
So I get it. I'd rather hear the commentary. These sports bars need to pick one game that they have on all of the TVs they have and make that the premier game where the audio is of the broadcasters and all the noise from the fans and all that stuff is playing instead of some stupid song. I agree with you 100% there. That is frustrating.
Well, you know what? A great discussion. And this is a great segue into counteroffer. And we're going to switch up counteroffer a little bit this time. And we're going to talk about music, Ben. We haven't really talked about music that much before. So today for counteroffer, I've got something to offer you for a discussion. Let's compare songs, the same song sung by different artists. And so first, I'm going to play a snippet of the song Venus by the band Shocking Blue from 1969. It's the original song. Save your comments until after it's over. All right.
She's got it.
I know you love the 60s, right? You feel like a
baby,
60s kind of
she's
vibe.
got it.
All right. Now, our song to compare it to for you to pick from Ladies Band, Bananarama, the 1980s, baby, 1986. You ready? Let's go.
It's a Cruel Summer.
Show us your moves. Wow. All right. Oh, we're not running it back. Okay, we are running it back. We're not running it back. There we go. So, what do you think? Which version are you taking, the original version or the 80s version, and why?
I'm gonna take both of them. No, if I had to choose, here's the thing. I feel loyal to Bananarama because they made one of the best 80s songs ever with Cruel Summer. That is a classic, right? From the Karate
Genius.
Kid movie. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I love Cruel Summer. That's a great song. So I'm going to go with Bananarama, although the original by Shocking Blue was quite shockingly good.
Very nice.
I love all music. I think sometimes a lot of these songs that they cover or redo are better left alone because they're such classics originally. But I'll give Bananarama a pass on this just because Cruel Summer is such an amazing song.
I like the reasoning there. I like the reasoning. Well, maybe being first doesn't always mean you're best. A cover can be better. I've got several cover songs, which we might eventually get to, that I think are better than the original. We'll have some more debate about these later. I think musically, I like the vibe from Shocking Blue better. They also take a little bit more time in the intro to get into the song, and it really gives you that 60s vibe. Bananarama, though, I mean, just watch the video, man. Give me my MTV. That alone, I'll give it to them because of the video, because I love the Bananarama video. It's great visually, very nice. So I think we both voted for Bananarama. Yeah, they got it. Bananarama got it.
Let's go.
All right. That was fun. All right. Let's keep it moving. Getting local. Pollen season, I think we've peaked. We're petering out now. The yellow stuff isn't everywhere. I did. I took my blower outside and blew off the back porch in the front day, and I felt it immediately. That was a terrible decision. But otherwise, just being outside, it's not terrible anymore. Other than pollen, what's something that really says spring to you in North Carolina?
Well, usually it's rain, but we have had no rain at all. It's dry. Really everything just, I'll be honest with you, down here specifically, Doug, the azalea is blooming. That's always time, and it's so beautiful. I wish they could last longer. They're like 30 days and out, but like when they bloom, there's nothing prettier than a beautiful patch of azaleas, and that spring is truly here. So I think the azaleas are my flag, if you will, my flag that gets raised. It says, "Yep, it's that time." So the pollen is a mess. I haven't washed my car in like 3 weeks because I was hoping for some rain falling off. Yeah, I mean it exactly, but I might have to because the rain is certainly not on the horizon here anytime soon. So
I don't know.
The azaleas for me.
We've got some beautiful azaleas in our front yard, and they are full bloom right now, and it's gorgeous. I love just pulling into the driveway and seeing them. It's awesome. A couple years ago, Amanda planted a bunch of rose bushes along the back of our yard, and they have just exploded. So there are flowers everywhere right now. I hope it lasts. I have been every other morning dutifully watering the yard to try and keep the grass green because the yard looks so great right now, but I don't know how much longer it's going to hold on. I will tell you that at least in Raleigh, the forecast has us getting some rain this weekend and into next week. So I hope a lot of the area gets it because yeah, man, we could really use it. If grass starts dying in April, man, it's going to be tough in June and July.
Yeah,
so
you're not kidding.
Lord, send us some rain, please. We need some April showers before we make it to May, right?
You know, I'll say this too. I keep thinking about it. My neighborhood that I live in right now has the worst HOA association you've ever seen in your life, and I'm just waiting for them to say, "Oh, you need to do something with your lawn, especially if it gets parched, or not. Yeah, if it gets completely decimated by the sun, right? And there's no rain." And then they're going to come out and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And then I'm going to have to just tell them politely to please get off my lawn and don't come back. I live in the worst HOA in the world. I'm happy to say it. The Scottsdale Village HOA is the worst HOA that you've ever seen in your life.
Put them on blast.
I don't care.
Put them on blast.
After all the threatening letters that I get about this, that, or the other, and it's just nonsense. They have some guy that walks around. I don't care. There's some guy that walks around and he's in charge, like he's a resident in the neighborhood, and he's in charge of going by everybody's yard and reporting if there are deficiencies. And then they send you these nice threatening letters out about your yard. And my yard is not bad. So I told them in reply, I said, well, guys, I haven't even gotten into my yard yet because I'm going to bring cows in for pasture. And I'm also going to grow a garden with corn, green beans, all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to have some farm animals out there too. So I'm just getting started with my with my yard. But yeah, I mean, you know, hopefully our the HOA Barney Fife of yard maintenance will take it easy on us, given that we haven't had any rain.
I mean, dude, go get a job as a starter at the golf course or something. I mean, you need something to occupy your time. I will tell you, it's funny that you're.
But real quick, I just want to see the guy's credentials, Doug. Like, what makes someone a yard expert? Like, let me go to his house. I bet I find a bunch of deficiencies. I ought to go out there with a big clipboard and be like, citizens arrest for the HOA, citizens arrest. You know, something like that.
You remember when Chris Jericho had the list?
Yes.
You can put him on the list.
Look.
Fantastic.
This could rival Jericho's. I just got to staple it together and roll it out.
Nice. Well, it's funny that HOAs came up. A neighbor asked me the other day, hey, can we have chickens? And my first thought was like, I do not want to wake up to chickens. Our HOA does not allow poultry.
Doug, the only answer to that is yes. Yes, they allow chickens. Yes.
Absolutely not. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Good conversation. Our final walkthrough today, which is typically a reaction to a specific event. What's a team that you knew wasn't winning at all, but you just really, really loved the season, even though you knew before it was even over they weren't going to win it all?
Oh, man. I mean, there's so many I could name off. I mean,
we pulled for some stinkers, right? So, I mean.
Well, you do. Speak for yourself, pal. Yeah. I mean, speak for yourself, Mr. Pack. No, okay. I'm going to have to go back to the Louisville Cardinals, and I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but Kyle Kuric was a senior. We had the last game at Freedom Hall, which is historic for basketball and a lot of other events too. Freedom Hall is an awesome place. But it was our last game there against Syracuse, and we got down by 25 points and just started busting threes. Kyle Kuric had, I can't remember how many threes, but it was insane. And that team went on to win that game, and they made a nice run. That team I didn't expect a lot out of because it had been so disappointing throughout the season. And it was the last season played in Freedom Hall before we went to the Yum Center. So, for me, I guess that team, perhaps, I can already answer you that question for you, and that's going to be the NC State Final Four run and ACC run. It has to be. And basketball a couple years ago.
Well, I mean, they like I mentioned before, they won the ACC title, and that was enough for me. Um,
Right.
and I didn't enjoy that season until that last month because we sucked out loud. So, for me, the most recent case would have to be the Hornets because the majority of the season they were fun to watch, but you knew they weren't going to win it all. I mean, they were never going to win it all. It was just not a team that you follow actually be entertaining and feel like you were in the mix, for a change. And I think for me, that's what I think about when I think about this question, at least the most relevant version.
Well, okay, if we're going to go there,
version.
if we're going to go recent, you didn't specify recent, Doug, okay? If you're going to go recent,
there are no parameters.
Okay, there are no rules at the closing table. Just sign with black ink.
We make the rules.
That's right. That's right. So I would have to say the Panthers then, the playoff run last year. I mean, that was incredible, winning a game and then, going on to the Rams. They were right there. They got to be 34-31, something like that. Had every chance in the world to win the game and just didn't come through. So I'm going to have to go with the Carolina Panthers.
I mean, that's a great answer too. And why? Because both of these teams have stunk out loud recently. That way, at least we got overlap there with our stinkers. Anyways, good discussion. Let's move it on to the closing time. Ben, you know what? We're here. We're about to wrap things up. What are you looking forward to? What are you keeping an eye out for over the next week until we get back together again?
The 10-year Treasury, price of oil, same as last week. Those two things are going to be key elements into what we do, how we service our clients. Also, the temperature in the market is going to be incredibly derived from those factors. People are going to get back into things and get back in. We have tons of listings right now. You've talked about that the last few episodes. Tons of listings out there. We need buyers into the fray. What's going to attract buyers? Lower interest rates. How are we going to get lower interest rates? You've got to get this Iran conflict settled and done and get oil prices back on the global market at a stable situation. The other thing too, I know our strategic reserves were released by the previous administration to counter high gas prices when what they needed to do was drill for more oil. But with that being the case, if we've got some strategic reserves, let's go ahead and release it right now. We've got plenty of oil. According to the administration, we're energy independent. So if we're energy independent, why is gas $3.63 a gallon? I'm just asking for a friend. So for me, it's oil. It's going to be mortgage interest rates directly as a result of the cost of oil and goods and inflation. And also, too, the new Fed chair, right? Coming in May, we get a new Fed chairman in. So I'm keeping a close eye on all of that, and really, really hoping that we see some positive results.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It's funny that you brought that back up about sellers. I saw it this morning, 43.1% more sellers than buyers in the country right now. I had a listing appointment 2 nights ago, and I said, folks, job is to be straight with you and set the right expectations. We're going to price this right. We're going to make it look really good when we get it on the market, but you got to be patient because this is just where we are in the market. And also giving them the advice that you can't cut corners on getting this ready because buyers are picky. Buyers want turnkey. Buyers don't want to walk into your house and see additional dollar signs because they've got stuff to do. So we made a strategy. We talked about go do this, get ready.
Well, and I didn't mean to cut you off there, Doug, but also buyers have tons of options right now. So listen to what Doug tells you to do. If he tells you, hey guys, this is the way you need to do this, he's the expert. He knows what he's doing, and he's telling you for a really good reason. Because a 43% slide to the seller side, having 43% more sellers, that's crazy. It really is. That's a big number. So again,
it's great for buyers.
Yeah, but we need more of them, right? It used to be you didn't have enough sellers. You didn't have enough sellers at all. So you had 10 buyers vying for every house that was available on the market. So, it's a different time, a different place, and lower interest rates will definitely help us get back to where we need to be and get some of this inventory moving.
Yeah, 100%. That's going to be the answer to get things moving, I think, and hopefully we get trending back in that direction. But that's even more important that I stress that you listen to a trusted lender partner like Ben, and you get a realtor like me that you trust, somebody who's going to say, talk to you straight, help you set the right expectations, and actually understand what's happening, because we talk to people about this every day. We see this every day. This is our full-time life. It's our job. It's our life. Listen to us. Get advice from the right people who know what they're talking about. It'll make a difference
Amen.
and help you have a much better experience.
Amen.
Well, Ben, that's all I got, brother. Thank you again to you, Cornerstone Home Lending and lendwithben.com. Check it out for all your resources, options. Apply and get pre-approved for your mortgage. And then talk to me, Doug, the Oceanair Realty. We're here from the Triangle to the Coast to help you one way or another, buy, sell, invest. We got your back. Call us. But until then, like, subscribe, share, please comment, spread the word. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about on a future show. If you've got a great song or a great movie, maybe sequel versus the original, or a cover song versus the original that you'd like us to banter on a little bit, we'd love to do that. Send your ideas. But until then, Ben, the deed's recorded, the docs are signed. The closing table, it's time to get out of here. Until next time, back at the closing table. We'll see you then.